I've been meaning to make this video for a while now since stopping listening to music nearly as much as I used to, but wanted some time to really consolidate my thoughts. Over the past month, I've only added one single and one album to my Apple Music library, and the only times I ever even listen to these songs are over my Odyssey LCD5 headphones equalized to the PEC dB over-ear headphone target. I have not used the variations or any IEM for anything outside in many months. The last time was probably when I was in Japan over spring break. I just see no point at all to use IEMs in my present circumstances. It blocks me out from the real world, and I want to use my ears for what they're intended to be used for, which is listening to the real world natural sounds. When I'm cycling, I want to be able to listen to the trees, the wind, the birds, and of course the cars. I have these wind blockers, they're helmet attachments, which deflect the sound past my ear, or deflect the wind to go past my ear, so it prevents hearing loss from wind exposure. I think something like this is crucial for every cyclist who cares about their hearing health. And even if I'm riding around on the Stanford campus, I always wear this helmet, not really because of protection, but because it protects my ears from the wind. Otherwise it just sounds too noisy. So yeah, I've been using my ears to listen to real things. Even if I'm at the gym, it's generally fairly quiet in there. They have some JBL overhead speakers, which they may play some music on occasionally, or at least at very quiet volumes, but I don't need music to motivate me to do anything. Lifting weights, I can get motivation from within to push a set through, or if I'm cycling to push up a mountain, I don't need music as a motivation. And another reason why I don't listen to music is because the recording quality or mastering quality of 99% of music is garbage. The last two albums I added to my Apple Music library are both in Dolby Atmos. They have great dynamic range. The sound quality is awesome, but 99% of modern music is compressed. For example, here is a comparison of a song from Stray Kids and the stereo lossless master versus the Atmos master. The mastering engineers apply a lot of compression to the stereo masters. I can literally hear the compression in whatever songs I'm listening to. I can imagine the waveform. It's really not that hard. It's going to look like a sausage when it sounds like there's not enough discrimination between the lows and the highs. Well, not necessarily in terms of frequency, but in terms of quiet sounds and loud sounds. There's none of this lifelike energy you would get with real sounds. The dynamic range of real life sounds is infinite. And it's the same thing with computer monitors or displays too. I don't really care anymore because the outside world has infinite dynamic range. The computer monitor is irrelevant. So I've just taken a step back from all of this listening to music, audio gear. And it's kind of interesting to think about because over the years, 2021, I was listening to so much music, but it was on objectively bad equipment like the DT880, the Eddie ER2 SE, but there was that constant high I was seeking for the next improvement in audio quality. How could I make things better? But that's not the case anymore. Of course, you can see this in the PEC dB listening tests. We have unequivocally proved that PEC dB is as good as it gets. The only target curve that is statistically tied is the HiFi endgame target curve, but there's nothing to really improve the, non-spatial audio or non-vibration motor side of things on the audio space for headphones. It's essentially fully solved by PEC dB, so I don't need to spend time listening to music thinking, oh, how could this be better? What are some, ways I could theoretically improve this? I already did this for several years. That's why we have PEC dB now. At this point, I just use my ears to enjoy the real world sounds and just am immersed and am one with my own surroundings. I don't need music for any reason. I think music is cope. Obviously, your individual circumstances will dictate this as well. For example, if you're living in a really noisy environment where you want to tune out your surroundings, music is a good way to cope with this. Or if you're commuting by train a lot, just sitting inside doing nothing, music can be a distraction and just be a time pass. But if you're only doing things you actually want to do all the time, I don't see any reason to listen to music. It's just a waste of time. I would rather just be focusing on what I'm actually doing.